Boom, look at me. I am becoming a pro at pinning comments. I just want to say, hi everyone. I'm so happy to see you guys. It's been a while since we've done this. Welcome to Master Manifestors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're about to let Miss Lyric into the building, so I hope y'all got y'all pens ready because I came ready and she's about to give us the goods, okay? All right, Miss Lyric is coming into the building. There she is. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Boo. How you doing?
I want to give myself like a cute filter or something like that.
Yes. Okay.
Something.
Yo, why have I never put a filter on this before? Low-key, I have this ring light. So
they
this
have
ring
better
light,
ones now.
they do. Dang, wait a minute. Am I about to play with the filter? I might be. Hold up. Hi, y'all. For everybody who's
Like
yes, for everybody who's joining us. I know, I'm like, okay, now I'm overwhelmed because it's too many options. For everyone who's joining us, hello, welcome, happy Monday. I hope y'all are feeling good and light and airy. Drop where you guys are coming from below. I am in Brooklyn, New York. For anyone who doesn't know me or hasn't met me before, my name is Kanique Swinson. I'm the founder of Soul Sister Network, and this is Master Manifestors, where we talk to a new woman of color every single week, and she dishes the goods on one thing or like everything she's manifested and how she got there, the tips, the tea, everything. So let's get into it. Hi. Okay, I see Baltimore. I see VA Beach. Okay, DMV. In here, Heavy. What's up? Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
I love talking to people too on live. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this conversation. I was thinking about it all day and like how I would want to approach it. And I'm like, I know she's gonna have questions for you. And I'm here to like be extremely vulnerable and not only say, oh, well, this is what to do and that's what to do and this is what to do. But I really want to say, you know, like really explain the depth of what it takes to manifest and be vulnerable and share my truths with everybody so that way they understand as well that sometimes it takes a lot of pain. Everybody's like positive thinking, positive this, positive that. But you know, the truth is that you die, you have an ego death. And during our point of suffering and releasing that and just like the cry and the prayer of like, all of this is going to happen for me now. I'm going to let this go and receive this. And that's really that catalyst, that feeling, that belief of I'm going to transmute this right now because I have supreme belief. And then like that's like the catalyst. So I'm here to talk about all of those things.
Yes. First off, I'm already taking notes. I was like, depth it takes to manifest. Yes. Okay. So exactly. Broke but make it bougie said yes to ego death. Yes. Kay Carter said so true. Working on surrendering my ego now. Okay. Clearly we're about to get into it. I gave y'all a heads up when I posted the flyer and when I was promoting this week saying Lyric's about to give it to us for real, just to give you guys a heads up on how she and I are connected. I'm so happy because this is the first live I'm doing with someone who is like a new friend, someone that I'm meeting through doing this, right? So everyone else have been people that I've been familiar with who are really great manifestors, but Lyric has been the first person to come to me through the universe doing its thing. And she came via one of our previous master manifestors, Kaylin, Amazed by Kay. Literally people hit me up for days after that IG live session talking about how deep she got. So when she referred you to me, I was like, clearly we're about to get deep again. So for anyone who joined us for that episode, I hope y'all are ready because clearly you can tell Lyric's about to give us the tea and I'm here for it all. I've already taken notes. Get your pen and papers ready. I have questions, but honestly, I feel like this is the first time I'm just going to kind of let the conversation go where it may, you know, and I really want to challenge anybody who's watching who has like really deep or just surface level questions about manifestation, healing, the journey, everything that we're talking about. send it to us through the questions tab at the bottom, and I'll pull them up as we go. Because clearly
Perfect.
Lyric and I are both ready to be open, ready to be vulnerable, to talk about our experiences. So we are here as like a vessel for you guys to learn, and for us to learn from you guys as well. So I'm ready to get it started. I'm going to ask a couple of intro questions to get us warmed up, and I want you guys to hop in whenever you want, right? So Lyric, tell us a little bit how you got into manifesting. Like, what was your journey? Where did it start? How old were you? What were you feeling at the time? Take us through it all, girl.
So I started writing poetry at the age of 12, 13 years old. And it was usually like love poetry and, just getting things out. And then my poems kind of changed and they shifted. And I remember playing softball as a kid and seeing there was a piece of paper with all the different teams on it and mine included. And I really focused, and I'm a kid. I'm maybe like 10 years old. And I focused on this piece of paper and I put our team to the top where it said win, like we won the whole thing. And lo and behold, we won that championship.
Come on, okay, wait, how old were you?
I was 10. And I remember feeling into that again and feeling like I had something to do with that, right? And then I was about 17 years old. I came up from a dysfunctional home and a lot of pain and suffering. And my sister and I were living together, kind of bumping heads. And I like closed my door and like locked my door. And I just started writing like this 4-page poem called A New Life. And it was like I was crying to God the whole poem. And I would just remember this one line. I was like, just give me a new life. Please help me grow. And what was really dope about that is like a few months later, like I was in cooking school, and then I met this kid who invited me to church. And then I got this job down the block, like a couple of blocks away from me, called A New Life Christian Bookstore. And my poem was called A New Life. And like, I didn't realize, and it helped me because I was a little hood. I was running the streets, like as a teenager. And then when, choosing God for myself and choosing to study Christianity at the time and really delving into these things, I realized that poem was the catalyst for me to help get there, and which taught me how to transmute completely. Like, I could stop having sex if I want to. I could stop smoking weed if I want to. I could stop cursing if I want to. So it taught me, if I really believe in something, whether that be Jesus or whether that be whatever, if I believe in something so much to change myself by my own choosing, and I can do that, then I can do anything. And that's when I kind of changed my life. And I'm a philosopher. I'm not a religious person. Like I do things religiously, but I'm not into the behavior modification or the fairy tales of you will be doomed or you will be blessed. Like we as gods, as creators, right? God and us, we have the power and we have the energy, and we can evoke that energy through that feeling and through that vibration. And I think that with man-made religion and them, and even people telling us, all our lives that you being in your mind is out of your mind, and you speaking out loud is you're crazy, and you believing in something that doesn't exist is crazy. And you're only allowed to do that when you're a child, and when you're a child, you're so innocent and you're so close to God because you're so close to spirit, and without being all the getting all these programs here,
without that ego.
I say that to say that manifestation is a very spiritual thing. And this is what all of the texts talk about. From Jesus, I can turn water into wine, and God is within me, and I am God. And, without the word, right, there would be none of this. And without, so when we say words have power. When we write things down, they're considered spells. And I think where people got it twisted was the witchcraft. It's dark, or this, it's dark. But what we were programmed to believe by Europeans in the civilization was, you cannot have more power than us. So we don't like witchery. And you cannot have more power than us. So you have to interpret these words as we're saying them to be. And it takes you away from the literal meaning of the actual text. And until you kind of realize that and delve into that and remind yourself, God is within me, right? Christians, some Christians will say you have to be filled with the Holy Spirit, before you can be born again or saved. So that death that we talk, that Jesus talks about, that death that we talk about, that's that ego death, that humbling moment.
Absolutely.
To where, you know, where you break down and you're just like, okay, I have to give this up now.
Yep.
So when you manifest, you have to give something up. This is universal law, right?
Yes.
If I want something that I'm no longer, then I need to get rid of what I no longer.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna hop in right here because you've said this twice, just in different ways. And I just want to flag for anybody who's joining us. I also want to say the comments are going crazy. So shout out to y'all, because y'all are feeling this just as much as I'm feeling this. But you said, if I believe in something, I have to change myself. And then you said you have to give something up in order to receive what you want to manifest. And I think, honestly, that's the true tea. That's what, like, the biggest thing for manifestation is change behavior. People completely forget that you have to change your behavior in order for something new to vibrate to you, right? Like, you can't say you want to lose 50 pounds but still be sitting on the couch. You got to start changing your behavior to start making certain decisions that you know are going to get you closer to those manifestations. And then what manifestations tell you, and manifestation in general tells you, is that once you do that, it's no way it can't come to you if you're vibrating on that level. And that's exactly what you're saying. And I am here for it all. I'm here for it all already. Yes.
So let me break it down for you.
Please.
When I say something, you have to sacrifice something. You have to give something up.
Yeah.
That means, because that could be more than one thing. Because energy is what we're working with. When we say vibration, we're talking about energy, the energy that we don't see, right?
Yeah.
So that's why when you see Hollywood or things, people go like this, the witches go like this, and stuff comes out of their fingers. Like, yeah, you can't see it, but we are a magic wand. When we make sounds, it's a vibration. That's why when we talk like this, people kind of like, oh, I feel safe. That's why when you talk like this, you feel it's all vibration.
Energy, vibration, all of it.
You have something called energetic boundaries, and they're different. You have relational boundaries, you have spiritual boundaries, you have physical boundaries, and you have psychic boundaries too. And all of these boundaries are affected by what we allow to penetrate. So sometimes our walls are really tough. We don't let anything in, or sometimes we let everything in and we have no boundaries in certain areas. And it's really important to let go of maybe people that you thought were friends that are not, you know, whether it's music, you're listening to certain music and it's feeding you all of these negative thoughts, and now you don't feel good. If you don't feel good, you cannot manifest. You have to feel good. So we have to do whatever it is that we need to get rid of all of the things that we need to get rid of in order to feel good, so that way we can believe that we deserve this, whatever it is that we're ushering into our lives. And we can believe that the source within us and the source outside of us can work together to bring this to life. It means that you have to get rid of your past. You have to forget about your past. You can't keep allowing the trapped emotions and the traumas to keep repeating the same things that you've been through with the new experience or the new person that you're with. You can't keep going back then and thinking, this is going to happen to me.
You can't keep repeating the same cycles.
Or now I have imposter syndrome because I haven't done this before. It's really difficult, and it's not our fault, but it's really difficult to imagine a new experience if we've never experienced it before. We don't even know what it might feel like.
Exactly.
Right? But that's why you have to live in your imagination. Your imagination is God in here between your temples, the temple of God. You know, and the reason why you have to not only think it but feel it is because your heart creates a higher vibration electronically than your brain can. So if you feel into it, if you say, this already had happened to me, it's here now. It's here now. It's like someone just hired, my girlfriend Kaylin just sent me this today, a little tip trick to feel into something. And this girl was like, you know, just pretend that it happened 10 minutes ago. Pretend that you got that call from the job. Pretend that, you know, so that way you could believe it right now. You have to believe that it's here right now. You cannot feel in lack. You cannot feel without. And that's what sin means, without. Right? We all want to be holy in order to be powerful. We want to be whole. So we cannot be in lack. That's why we don't want to crave things, or we don't, like, that's how we lose our boundary. When we feel we don't have it, then we desperately seek to get it from somewhere else. And that can be a complete detriment to us, to our well-beings. So if we're in power and we believe that we have the energy to protect our energy, the power and discernment to now see what's around us and feel into what's around us and know what we want to flow towards and move away from, then we have a higher chance of being able to manifest. And I can give you a couple of stories in a second about the times that I have manifested, and the pain that I've had to go through, and the willpower to come out of the dirt like a zombie and just say, I'm going to take my power back because I can't take this anymore.
But that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. I want to flag a couple of things that you said. I want people to hear this. You said if you don't feel good, you won't manifest. From my experience, we talked about this. From my experience, I've been studying manifestation now for about 10, 12 years, something like that. It all blends together after a while. The biggest thing I did not understand was that I had to feel good while I was doing it. That sounds crazy, but whatever feel good means to you, I feel like I was programmed by society to think that, like, you know, because I do come from a religious background. I feel like me and you talked about this, and we don't have to get too into it because I feel like people are going to be like, what? But I feel like there's a weird line and relationship between manifesting and spirituality in the sense of like religion. You know, we could get into it, we could not get into it, but that's a whole separate conversation in and of itself. So I feel like I had to do a lot of deprogramming on my end to know that I don't have to like I'm not going to hell if I want to sit down and manifest what I want out of my life. You know what I mean? Like, again, we can get into it, we cannot get into it, but I digress because it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. And it was for me for a long time too, because I grew up in the church, heavy religious, still have a deep relationship with God, but it gets a little murky when you start telling people you can actively create your own life on purpose, because then people think you think you're a little bit more powerful than God, when really, to me, God is my father. He gives me everything. He doesn't
working through you.
Want me. Exactly. So to me, if he's my father and I am from God, I am a God of my life. You know what I mean? I create my life, but I co-create it with him. That's the way I look at it. Like, I didn't give myself these dreams and all of this stuff. God gave me this stuff to birth. It was a gift that he gave me these things, right? So my job is to do what I need to do in this lifetime to birth it. And like you were saying, I think a lot of people, you know, do I want to get into it? Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. I'm already here. Yeah, we're already here.
You can't be powerful. More powerful than those who want to have power over you.
Exactly. So
in the Bible, it talks about all of what.
Exactly, it does. But it also is kind of like, you know, this is a religion that was handed to us by European people. People who have gone and traveled, you know, people who have traveled the world and had nothing but like doom to bring to any place that they've ever touched. So not that I don't believe in the Bible and I believe in God, clearly I do, but it's just kind of like
the way you're teaching it to me.
Yeah, the way that you teach it is toxic. That's the same. The reason why slavery was a thing for so long is because they used the Bible.
Right. Here's how we can think about it. Right. People wrote scriptures. It's like us. We write things of what we experience when we go through, and maybe our experiences with spirit coming through us. When I say spirit, I mean God coming through us and working through us. And, you know, some of us have clairvoyance, clear visual, clear audio. We can hear spirit, all of these different kinds of things. And it's really important to kind of look into that text yourself and kind of reread, and how it says that we're made a little lower than the angels, and a little lower than the angels work with God, and that's a divine realm to be at. There's 7, to my knowledge and my understanding in spirituality that I study, there's 7 dimensions. You know, you hear of purgatory, you hear of heaven, it's a very confusing thing, right? There's 7 dimensions, and depending on where you journey in this journey and what you choose with God, you know, and how you elevate, you will after death ascend to one of those levels, depending on what level you are, and then you'll make an agreement to be a spirit guide to another person, because we travel in soul groups, or you'll come back into life and then learn lessons all over again and get it better and better each time. as you choose until this planet and we're done. You know what I mean? When you think about science and you think about how everything is magic and everything has molecules in it and everything's alive and has energy to it. And we need to respect that energy. And any religion that makes you feel from an unconditionally loving God that you're not worthy or that you're being judged, all that judgment shit, part of my language, comes from
humans, not from God.
Humans. Absolutely, because the highest, I say this all the time, but love is the highest degree of understanding. And if I understand you, how then can I judge you? That's why Jesus was like, put down the stones. Don't be y'all without sin. Did y'all, you know what I mean? Like, that's why these messages are being taught. But you have an Old Testament and you have a New Testament, which is the Old Covenant and the New Covenant, which means agreement, the Old Agreement and the New Agreement. And then you put that together and it gets confusing and some books are taken out and all of these things. But it's really important that, again, that we understand that energy is God, that we are energy, that there's different levels of energy and different vibrations of energy. And that if God is love and I am love, then all I can do is express love.
Exactly.
Because I am that. And and the more I express love, and the more I allow love to be impressed upon me, but not the junk. I want to be impressed with goodness so that way I can continuously express goodness, right? Because I have a conscious and then I have a subconscious. And so when I'm sleeping at night, I'm in my subconscious and my body's astral projecting into the realms of symbolism that I might not even understand what it is that I'm feeling, but it's there to help you and guide you. And that's what meditation is. And meditation is a part of manifesting. It's that part of supreme focus where you're present, you're feeling into your body and nothing else exists at all. And you're just focused and you're honing in and you can see where you want to be and you can see where you want to go and you can feel how you want to feel and who's around you right now. Be very specific. Well, this is what my team looks like and this is the energy all around me and this is the food that I eat and this is the weather that I'm feeling and this is what my future partner looks like and it's all here right now in my imagination as we speak and I feel so good that it's here and I'm so grateful that it's here and I don't need anything else that has been bringing me down because that's where I'm going because it's here right now. So let me focus. And so it is.
And to piggyback off of that, when I do my own meditations and visualizations, a trick that helps me get more into it is to ask myself who, what, where, when, why, and how as I'm manifesting and visualizing. What does it look like? What does the person look like? What do they smell like? What do they sound like when they're talking to me? If I'm somewhere on vacation, I'm like, okay, I'm not just on vacation. I'm in a restaurant. What am I eating? What does it taste like? What does it feel like when it's going down? What does it smell like? The key for me when I visualize is to add as much realization to it as possible. So just like you're saying, to add in those little tricks, to keep asking yourself those deep questions. And that's why I like who, what, where, when, why, how, because it's really simple. We all know them. And the deeper I get into it, the more I'll ask myself questions. And then I'll ask myself the right questions the more I visualize. And visualization is so powerful because I don't know if you guys know this, but they say that when you visualize and close your eyes, your brain doesn't know the difference between when something is actually happening and when you're visualizing it. The same, isn't that crazy? That sounds like BS, but it's so true.
It's like sense memory.
Exactly. The same electrons and everything in your brain that's moving in the activity is the exact same as if you were actually doing it. And if you close your eyes and imagine yourself. So there's no difference to your head if you're driving a new Tesla car for real, or if you close your eyes and you're imagining yourself driving that Tesla. It's all the same. And that goes to what we're talking about as far as energy, because when you get something, you are signaling off that energy, right? Think about how good you feel, looking in the mirror when you're at your goal weight, right? You are going to feel so damn good. Nobody's going to be able to knock you off your pedestal. So everything good is going to start vibrating to you because, like you were saying before, Lear, you feel good. You feel good about it already. You feel like you have it already. So when you visualize, it's the same thing. You're just releasing that energy early, making it easier for something to flow to you.
And so one thing I want to talk about is clarity. You won't be able to effectively manifest anything if you don't have the clarity about what it is that you want and where it is that you're trying to usher into. And, you know, because that's
So,
also a way that you can feel. So you
yep,
need to get clear about what it is that you want. When
yep,
that sometimes you'll be in the pocket of like, I don't know what I want, but I know I don't want this.
yep. I
It's
was
like, all
just about
right,
to ask that.
it's like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So you take that moment to say, all right, I don't feel good. Let me figure out what it is that doesn't make me feel good. And this is
Yep.
one thing that I did. So for like a year, I had Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, printed out on top of my calendar when I lived
Mm-hmm.
in Jersey City, and I had it for a whole year. And then I moved. I came here, and then and then when I was here, I had a potential gig lined up, but I didn't know, like it fell through. They didn't give me the money I wanted. It just wasn't meant to be.
Yep.
But instead of me trusting, I just wasn't in a good place. And I was so afraid. And I
Yep.
had a relationship at the time that was not healthy. And everything was just caving in on me to the point where I was so stressed out that my body couldn't take it anymore. And it gave up on me. And it was like,
Yep.
are you done now? Because we're done. And I was like,
Yep. Yep.
I'm done. I was like,
Yep.
I'm done. And I was reading this book, Manifest Now, which is one of my favorite books by
Love
Bill
Manifest
Ackman.
Now. Yes.
And I think, and then I was also reading a book called Supernatural, by Dr. Joe Dispenza, where he was talking about, you know, self-love and like the cells in your body, the white blood cells and the red blood cells, and how when you don't feel good, you're literally creating a sickness within your body that is eating away your health and creates cancer, and all of the pain that you feel sits in different places in your body. So I study energy healing, and I'm certified through breath work, and I do affirmation ceremonies, and I help bring healing, and I help release energy off of people. And so with that, now I can do that, but I had to learn that I don't want to make myself sick, and I don't want to harm myself because I love myself. And then once I started to feel good, I started writing down all of the things I heard. Spirit was like, well, let's write. That's your thing. So write down all of the things that you're afraid of. So I just said, I am no longer afraid of this. I am no longer afraid of that. And things started coming out of me that I didn't even know I was afraid of.
Wow.
Mom,
Isn't that powerful?
Isn't
that the
powerful
of writing?
Parents. Yeah, because your spirit is speaking through you. You kind of shut off, and then everything just starts to come out. So what I did was I was saying, I am no longer afraid of this. I am no longer afraid of that. I am no longer afraid of not being accepted, whatever. My mother, all of these things. My mother not getting the life she wants, all of these different things. And then I said, I reclaimed all of those things. I said, as a matter of fact, I've been successful all my life. As a matter of fact, this, and I just confirmed the opposite of everything that I just said. And I saw a white golden light just pouring into me through my tears of letting go and giving up everything that I was holding on to that did not serve my well-being. And I just let it go. And once I let it go,
and didn't it feel so good?
I got a phone call from Billboard Hollywood Reporter. I got a phone call from Spotify. I got for jobs. I got a text message giving me like the biggest job position that I've ever had in my career. And, and everything started to fall in place. And then, anything that you materialize, you can dematerialize. Everything has its season. There's also something called the law of gestation. And the law of gestation is giving some things time to develop, because that's universal law. So it's kind of like when I get pregnant, guess what? I need about 9 months. So my baby can grow into a baby and then can survive in the streets. Or if I'm planting a seed, I have to trust that it's planted and it's going to do its thing, and then I'm going to nurture it where I have to nurture it to watch it grow. And so that's something that we have to honor too. So if you write down what it is that you want and you're affirming it, you do that by affirming it. It's not necessarily prayer. It's prayer with affirmations about it. And you're claiming it with God. You're saying, I am powerful with you, God. We are powerful. You want me to have everything that I want and need. All of these things, I do deserve it. I deserve to be financially free. I don't deserve to be in debt or in these systems that were placed upon me, making me feel inferior and weak in this world. This world is my world. It's not, it's not one man's world, even though I have to pay taxes. So you always have to look past your circumstance, and then you can go ahead and you can create what it is that you want, and just trust that it's done. That's why when we pray, we say amen. And so it is, so be it, because you're believing that it is so.
Yep.
And that's really the trick. You got to leave it alone and trust that it's already happened, feel into it, it's already here.
Yep.
And when you really feel that way,
it literally is magic, y'all. I want to flag something because I feel like you've said this a couple of times. Do you feel like you really started manifesting when you were at your lowest point?
I think that we manifest whether we know it or not. A girlfriend of mine, Kay, she just wrote, anytime we speak, we are praying.
Yep.
This is why you have to watch the power of the tongue. I am a magic wand. You are a magic wand. I will literally say something out loud. And I mean, I'm not playing. I'll give you an example. I'm like, I need new gym sneakers. Right? That's all I said I need. I didn't need to say I have new gym sneakers. And so it is. I just said I need new gym sneakers. I went to a gym class that I didn't even join that gym. And then at the end of the gym, they were like, Lyric, you won the raffle for free Puma sneakers. And I got two Puma sneakers that came to my house. Okay. And then that same day, it was like my birthday. And I'm like, I want to do my hair, but I was on hiatus for my television show that I was working on. And I'm like, do I really want to spend the money? And I'm like, of course I should spend the money. It's my birthday. Get my hair blown out. So I went to go get my hair done at Dry Bar. And then when I was going to check out, they were like, oh, you don't have to pay. Like, Fox is sponsoring us for the day. And I'm like, what? And I just I gave the guy $20. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, you know, and I mean, it's really incredible, whether you know it or not. The energy that you're giving off is what you're getting back. So if you don't like what you're seeing and what you're feeling in your life, hold yourself accountable.
There's no one more responsible for certain things in your life than you. Not everything always, right? Because sometimes life will just deal with you weird hands. But how you react and where you place yourself, that power is with you. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, right? Because if you look and your relationships don't look the way you want, or your job doesn't look the way that you want it, it's easy to be like, God dealt me a tough hand, right? Like, this just sucks. I don't want to be here. It's so easy to get stuck in that because that's honestly what society tells us to do. That's what the norm is. Everybody
always want to blame somebody.
We always want to blame somebody else.
Who you blame?
Everything.
The devil.
Shame the devil. Exactly, right?
I can't even imagine if I woke up thinking the devil is after me all day. Like,
you know how toxic you would feel all day long if you just felt somebody was on your shoulders trying to hold you down all day.
The devil ain't got nothing to do with me. The devil ain't never going to be over here.
Period. Nah, I'm cool. Exactly.
Like, I am supremely protected. Like, you know how the polar opposites is heaven and hell, supposedly, right? This is where I'm at. So they stay in their place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a belief to these things interfering or interacting with me.
Exactly.
Anything that it's like Freddy Krueger, right? If anybody's into horror films and watched Nightmare on Elm Street, one of my favorite films, and it's so symbolic because Freddy Krueger can't die.
Never even thought about it that
Freddy
way.
Krueger is a pedophile, okay? He was sick and all of these things.
The worst.
And it was all magic involved. Like, they burnt him, they sacrificed him, they burnt his ass. And then he comes back in people's dreams and starts killing all their kids. But the kids, if they don't believe in him, he can't kill you.
Exactly. How powerful. Come on, get what a comparison. And I love scary movies. I lived off of Freddy and Freddy versus Jason. And then that low-key reminds me, Freddy versus Jason, the movie, when he was going back and forth with Kelly Rowland, and she was like, I'm not afraid of you. Fuck you. And then Jason was behind her. I mean, like, that's besides the point. But Freddy didn't kill her. Exactly. Freddy didn't kill her. That's the point. That's the tea. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go to some of the questions because questions are coming in. Thank you guys. For anyone who joined us in the middle, this is Master Manifestors with Soul Sister Network. We are getting into all the details, nitty gritty about manifesting for women of color, for everybody who's watching, about how to get your best life going on. And Lyric has already forced me to take 3 pages worth of notes. Yes, for men too. We love y'all too.
We need
y'all. Yes, we don't we? Okay.
Magic.
Yes. Oh, don't get let's see. So J Plus Music said, how do you stay focused if you find yourself in a situation where negative influences are around? Wow, this is like low-key tying into what you were just saying.
How I stay focused is once I don't feel good, you got to feel into that. You can't deny those feelings. When you feel icky, you got to feel icky. You got to vent it out a little bit, and then you got to put it away real quick. But
Yep.
it's really important to stay true to yourself and honor these icky feelings and just,
Mm-hmm.
and because you get clarity through that. You're
Yep.
processing. You need to process before you can get rid of.
Exactly.
So it's like when you have a stomach ache and you gotta use the bathroom. I'm sorry to break it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's true. You might feel uncomfortable, but you gotta get it out, and then you feel.
But you got to get it
out.
out. But you know what? I feel like this is such a good question. Thank you so much for this, because I feel like a lot of people think that once you start manifesting, shit just magically becomes sweet all the time. You feel good all the time. Like, I feel like that was one of the things that I didn't understand when I first started. I thought it was being positive 100% of the time, reading affirmations 100% of the time. Like, not, it's kind of like that whole, like, if someone disses you, like, turn the other cheek, like that kind of energy all the time. And then I realized it's not that at all. You have to process. Exactly. So I started giving myself permission to experience whatever I was feeling. If I was feeling pissed off, I gave myself permission to feel it. But with the exception that I wasn't going to feel it forever. I was just going to feel it for however long I felt like I needed to. That might be 10 minutes. That might be an hour. That might be a day. It might be a week if somebody really pissed me off, right? But by the time I'm done, I wipe my hands and I'm through with it, and I'm out of that emotion.
Well, we wanna get there quicker than a week. So
exactly.
So back to his question, I just want to say, to stay focused, you have to honor and process the negative emotions that you're feeling. So you have to now understand, what do I need to do in order to move away from this? Do I need to? Why is negativity influencing me in the first place? And are these people really influential? And do I need to change up my space? And then remaining in your power and knowing that you can move however you want to move. How you keep your focus, because you know what you want.
Exactly. I love that. I also want to flag that I'm a realist. So for me, when I first started this, I was complaining all the time, right? So I might have went from complaining for a month about one little small thing to shorten it down to a week. So I feel like time is a little relative based off of who is going through the process. But the thing is, you keep learning and you keep growing. And now what might have pissed me off for a week's time pisses me off for 5 minutes, and I'm all right with it. So don't feel discouraged if you are in a category where you feel like it's taking you a little bit longer, because it's not like a cut and dry situation for everybody. But you want to go towards, like you were saying, Lyric, for it being as short as it possibly can be, because you don't want to dwell on it. You don't want to harbor in it, Yes. 100%. Yes. Okay, we have another question.
So the true key is to kill your ego.
Yep. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this, because since this is the question, what was your first step for you in killing your ego?
Just being fed up with my own stuff. Like, I don't like not feeling good. Like, it is, like, no one has to ever tell me, do you want to feel good? No, I want to feel good. And if I don't feel good, I have to understand why I'm not feeling good. And I'm also observing things around me. And as a woman who's in a culture where, I have a nice body. You know what I'm saying? I could totally use my body for things and opportunities. And something that, for me, it's just not in my journey. It's not in my purpose. And I don't do that. So I have to stay strong within my own mindset, within my femininity and understanding of, let me not be in my ego and want to do too much because I feel pretty today, or look at my abs coming in, or if anything, I want to support myself by motivating other people. Here, look, I'm working out, work out. So it's like it's changing up how we feel. There's like ego never feels good. Even if you think it feels good for the moment, it never does. It only feels better when you're operating out of love, because there's transaction and there's transformation. Only transactions can feed my ego, and only transformation can be expressed and transformed through love. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather be loved than be gawked at for what my body looks like by someone else who feels that he has a lack within him. You know, that's one of the reasons why people cheat, is because we feel a lack of. Like even Jada said it, right? I didn't feel good for a really long time, and I took on this dude as my project, like I was better than him. But he, and now it's an entanglement. Actually, if you don't feel good, you are going to put yourself in situations that are not good for you. You know what I'm saying? and you want to feel good, so that way you can put yourself in the best situation, so that way you don't have to have a bad marriage or a bad partnership or a bad anything. Like you can have a good everything. And if you want to, all based on knowing who you are, being separate and detached from everything, not needing everything or needing everything from everybody and pressuring everything from everybody, or even the divine, like pressuring the divine. You're not doing it, that's enough. You're not.
Exactly.
There's no belief in that. So the true key is to eradicate your ego, and again, you can exist and live there, but because your duality, but just but you can only manifest through divine light. You can only yes your ego, as long as it's true to spirit. And it can work together. But you just got to bring that elevation up.
I love that. Yes, real crazy world. Thank you so much for that question. We got another one. Let's see. Says, it's a long one. Matter of fact, can I even see the whole thing?
How do you discern between different opportunities when you're manifesting? Is there a balance between maybe knowing and not knowing? How do you discern between different opportunities? I always ask spirit. I'm always like, well,
same.
Like, well, what is this and what is this? And this is what I get. I always get, it's whatever you want it to be. I hear this all the time repetitively. Even my homegirl, Trap Emotion Healing, Kay, she's saying, getting clear on what you want. Like, you have to, all right, so I trust that whatever opportunity comes to me first. And then I always ask, I love this question. I mean, I love asking for this and always receiving it. Spirit, whoever you speak to, angels, spirit guides, all of that, come in for me right now. My ancestors, all of that. Please allow these things to happen for me in a kind, easy, and gentle way. Please allow me to make the decision where I feel the best in my position, and I thrive in that position, and it helps take me to the next level of where I need to be. And now, so that's working with things that are uncertain, right? We're uncertain, but I'm asking for guidance, and that's okay to ask for guidance. You don't have to always, be on point and know what's happening, but know that it's here and that it already happens, and that you have to trust your divine beings to help get you to that place of where exactly, and you have to trust that that's exactly where you have to. So you can let go of that. That's not your job. Just ask for guidance for that one.
Exactly. For me, I do something very similar, but I learn best by God being direct, and He knows that. Because if you give me too much space, I'm one of those people where I'll make anything work. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'll make the best out of this situation, boo. I'll figure it out. I don't have to overthink. So I'm getting now to the point where I just ask God, you know what, God, if it's not for me, just take it away. Or if I got 2 opportunities here, God, it's whatever you want. You figure it out. Because I don't even have the mental capacity to figure it out for myself. So I'm just going to throw it over to you.
And that's it's not just
and it's not my job. So, but it feels like it's your job, right? But when I tell God, my spirit guides, my ancestors, everything, then I'm like, you know what? Y'all figure it out. Thank you so much ahead of time for figuring out, because I know y'all are going to figure it out for me. The universe works out the craziest things. They already had it figured out, but when I release it, it'll happen like that. When I give them, it's kind of like, for me, I feel like it works different for everyone, but for me, I feel like the universe sits back sometimes and it's like, are you gonna call on us really quickly? Because that's what we're waiting on, Kanique. And I'm like, all right, y'all do it. And then they'll be like, boom, and it'll get handled. Like I'll get an email in 10 minutes, or I'll get a response from someone in 5 minutes that I haven't talked to in a year. And I'm like, wow, y'all are really doing your thing. And anytime because I'm one of those people that I'm in my head. So sometimes when I look at things a little bit more logical and I can see something with my own eyes, manifestations will come to me a little bit quicker. So I'll low-key ask for like really specific signs, and it sounds weird, but I'll be like, look, God, if you really want me to do this, show me a white dog. If you don't want me to do this, show me a purple snake. That sounds crazy out loud, right? But I was near Brooklyn Bridge Park before, crying, so overwhelmed with the job that I had. I didn't know what decision to make, and I was just like, God, I'm desperate. This is what I'm going to do. If I'm supposed to go on to another opportunity, show me a white dog. If I'm supposed to do whatever, show me a purple bear, right? I got up from that bench I was sitting on, turned around, I started walking to the train. 2 minutes later, a white dog runs up to me and starts licking me uncontrollably. Couldn't even find the owner. The owner was like a block away. He turned around and he was like, "Oh, God, I've been looking for you." And I was like, what are the chances that I just got done with this and a white dog at like 8 p.m. at night comes out of nowhere and starts licking me? I live for it. That is how God speaks to me. So he could speak to people different ways, but for me, sometimes I would love to think that I have 100% faith in everything, but sometimes I'm like, God, I just need you to show me something in like, 3D that I can really see, so I know I'm on the right path, right? And he'll give it to me.
I want everybody to know that it's not crazy, that that spirit and your angels and your spirit guides, they speak to you in synchronicities, whether it's through numbers, whether it's through signages, words, songs, different things like that, and it definitely does help. You know what I mean? I remember being down and out and thinking like, why am I doing this job? Like, what do you have me doing a job for? And then I literally see a license plate with the abbreviation of the project that I'm on with the same number of the season that it is. And I was on Lyric Road. And I was that was this year, yeah. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll shut up now.
Nothing's a coincidence.
And then COVID happens not too long after, and I've already made the contacts that I needed, and it wasn't a stressful job or anything. And I was like,
isn't that how it always is? Yes.
What am I doing here? Like, this is so stupid.
Yes, I love it. Yes. Thank you so much for that question. That was a really good question. That was a question I used to have really early on. And I'm so glad you asked it, because for anyone else who's here, who's newer to manifesting, I want to make sure that y'all get that. Like, ask for a sign. It's okay to like let some stuff go and let the universe do its thing, right? Yes. We have another question. All these questions coming in. Yes.
Bring them in.
Right
now. How has analyzing self helped? How has analyzing If you are God, if God is within you, as a man thinketh, so is he. Whatever you are, you believe. Whatever you think, you do. Whatever I think, I do. You know what I mean? And it all happens in my mind first. So if I don't understand myself, then I don't understand what I want to create. And I don't understand how I want to live my life.
Exactly. Because a lot of it,
what I want to change.
Exactly. A lot of it for me is also like, I had to learn myself to pick apart what was actually me, what was society, what were things that I picked up along the way. I had to look at my life and say, is this what I really want? Or is this something that society has told me that I wanted? So now I'm holding on to it because I believe that that's what I'm supposed to have. But that just might not be what I want. Like, something that was like that for me is I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina, which is a really small town in North Carolina, aka the country. So almost everybody I graduated high school with, they got married to their high school sweethearts. Like, they probably got 2 or 3 kids now. And at the time, I felt like, oh my God, I'm on a deadline. I'm on this, because my surroundings at the time made me feel like that's what I should be doing. I didn't even give myself any room to say, okay, that might be their truth, but that's okay if that's not my truth right now, right? Because instead of staying in North Carolina, I wanted to move to New York. I wanted to get more of a career and go that direction. But it took me so long to just release it and say, it's okay if they have their truth and that's what they want, and I have mine. I don't have to like dive too deep into what society or what's around me is telling me that I should want. So that came to me from analyzing myself and from really doing the work and diving deep and realizing that I can't manifest stuff if I don't know what I want. And how can I know what I want if I don't know myself, you know?
Analyzing yourself is just you consulting with your own spirit. It's with you consulting
It's
with you consulting your own soul. You know what I'm saying? So what is it that my soul wants? What is it that my soul is telling me? Because that's really why I'm here. So there's a part where we feel like abandoned almost when we come back to Earth. You know what I mean? If I don't know if you've been to Earth in another life or not, but like you feel your spirit and you come here and you're physically created, and now you're trying to regain what you really are. Yeah. And you don't really, you're guided and you're taught certain things and you're programmed and you're being lied to for the whole start of your life, and you going through different emotions and different pains. And
Yep.
it's really up to you to understand what those things were that hurt you that you can get rid of now. And who
Yes.
you are. And that's how that's why
Yes.
self-analyzing is supremely important, because you have
So
to know who you
important.
are in order to move
Yep.
and move
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
Understanding. Is there any other questions?
Let me see. I feel like that might have been the last one to come in. We only have, first off, it's already 8:50, so we only have 10 more minutes left. So if anybody has any last minute questions that y'all want to send, please do. We got 10 more minutes. I
I have
have
a
more
tip.
questions.
You
Yes,
do?
please. No, go ahead. Give me your
Here
tip,
goes one
sis.
tip, and then ask me a couple more questions. So I have a tip. So you know how we talked about
Mm-hmm.
writing things down, or
Yep.
saying things like
Yep.
singing or rapping certain things
Yep.
is important. Even if you want to make up your own
Mm-hmm.
songs, or and something about being in the water is a special conduit between
Yep.
here and the other side. So
Mm-hmm.
even when you meditate, just like see yourself crossing a vortex of water. Sometimes
Yep.
for me it spins like this for me to go to the other
Mm-hmm.
side. And there's meditations on YouTube where you can just pop in your headphones, lay down flat with your palms face up, and you just meditate. It's really important to, even if you don't know how, even just
Yeah.
ask. Just say, hey, look, I don't know how to
Yeah.
pray. Look, I don't know how to manifest. Look, I don't know how to all of these things. But if you show me, I'll do it.
Yep.
And then everything will open up for you, I
Yep.
promise, because you're
Yes.
watched over and protected.
Yes.
So, what was the question?
Yes, honey. I feel like I have so many. Okay, oh God, too deep of a question to get into with like
No,
6 minutes left. So, how do
I'll
you,
make
I
it
feel like
quick.
I feel like I get this question a lot. How do you manifest when you're going through like extreme trauma, right? When you're in like the deeps and depths of all this emotion that you're feeling, what's a tip that you can tell people to kind of raise their vibrations quickly so that they can bring something better to them?
Well, I definitely feel like I answered that earlier when
Yeah.
I had kind of gave up on my body, gave up
Mhm.
on me, and it
Yep.
was like, and I heard my body tell me, "Are you done?" Because I am,
Mhm.
and I was like,
Mhm.
"All right." I had no choice but to let it go. When you decide to just shut up in your head, just like
Mm.
stop, just let
Mhm.
like all this, oh, woe is me, or woe is me, I'm a victim. Like, it's stop,
Mm.
stop.
Mm.
Just stop
Mm.
and just remember, and just tap in, surrender. You have to completely give up. You have to completely be open, because you cannot manifest if you don't feel good, like we said earlier.
Mm.
So if
Yes.
you have trapped emotions, you have traumas, you ask for them to be lifted. If ask for
Mm.
you ask there's a girl in here right here, trapped emotions healing, that you guys can inquire with her and book her. She's amazing. She doesn't have to sit with you to help magnetize trapped emotions in your body, and from where they are and where they
Mm.
come from. And she takes notes and everything, an amazing person. She's helped me. She's worked with my animal, like, and it's helped me. I've literally, through this kind of trapped emotion work,
Mhm.
I literally understood maybe
Mm.
5 or more impressions that has
Mm.
programmed a trauma of mine and has kept it there. So even if I addressed
Mm.
one thing, it was still
Yep.
there. So by me surrendering and allowing, because I have to
Yes.
allow divinity to do its work, and I have to allow to let go. I have to
Yep.
make the decision to let go. If I
Yep.
don't let go, I don't believe, and I'm not. You can't be all on survival mode, because if you're on
Yep.
survival mode, you don't really believe. And
Mm.
so, with whatever trapped emotions or traumas, you have to know that it's
Yes.
okay that you're hurt. We all are there. It's okay. It doesn't
Yes.
make you. Don't be ashamed. Don't.
Nope.
We can remove it. We can let it go. You can be a brand new person.
Yes.
You can be
Yep.
brand new, and just allow that to happen.
Yes. I love that. That is such a beautiful message to end it off with. I feel like for my friends that I have that reach out to me, and clients, because I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. So clients that come out to me and reach out to me, a lot of them are just going through trauma and they just want to know how to start. And I think that what you said is so beautiful. It ties into what we were saying before about taking a little bit more responsibility for your life. And then it's everything that people are saying in the comments and what you were saying, which is surrendering so that you can move on to that next step, throwing your hands up and saying, you know what? I'm throwing my hands up. Like, I can't figure it out by myself. I need help. And I already know that the help is coming to me. So I love that.
The help is here.
Help is here.
Help
is here. It is. If you are on this live, there's a reason why you are on this live getting this message right now at this very important time for you, right? So I hope that you guys received all of this love and light and energy that me and Lyric are both sending to you. This was such a powerful session. I took so many notes. I hope y'all took notes too. For anybody who this is like your first time watching Soul Sister Network stories, follow Soul Sister Network. We would love to have you, women, female, like females, males, everything. Get Manifest Now. I love that book. I live by that book. I'll post it in Soul Sister Network stories because I really want you guys to read that book. It's so good and it's so, so, so powerful. Yes. And Lyric, okay, so how can we stay in touch with you? What do you have coming up in these like last couple of minutes?
Well, you can find me at Lyrics Poetic on all platforms. And I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram.
TikTok.
They all have different parts of me, and I love to give guidance. I do IG Live. Sometimes you can catch me there. If you wanted to book me for phone calls to have counseling or spiritual healing and energy work, you can book me. And I'm just, that's what I'm doing. I'm really excited. I'm here for anybody who's receptive for healing. And I love you guys. And I'm so glad to be here. And I'm so grateful for you to bring me onto this platform.
Yes, thank you. I'm so grateful that you joined, that you are here, that we vibed. We had a call before this a couple of days ago, y'all, and I already knew this was going to be good because I was like, I'm picking up on everything she is putting down. I love it. I live for it. I already feel like we got to have a part 2. So
I want to talk all about how we can like fix energy. Like I would love to talk about like how to fix energy and cleanse your space. And, keep every day. It's a different. You gotta do it.
That might be our next workshop. Hold on, please.
It's like when you take a shower,
energy healing.
You go outside, you get dirty. You always have to get rid of the energies that you take. You're consuming things. You gotta get rid of everything that you consume.
All of it. So, yes. Much love to y'all. Yes, we will. I'm gonna find you. I know how to reach you. But thank you guys so much for coming. Y'all were so interactive the whole time. So many questions. I was feeling all the energy. Again, thank you so much, Lyric. This was so special. This is going to be on Soul Sister Network's IGTV, and then we always post them on YouTube too. So if y'all want to come back and get these vibes another day, guess what? They're going to be here. Okay? So thank you guys so much. Lyric, I will keep promoting you. I love you. I love this energy. Y'all are the bomb. We are about to end this, but thank you guys so much for joining. Yes. I already see people saying here for a part 2. We got you. Yes.
All right, guys.
Yes. All right, babe. I love you, and I love you guys. Right. Bye. Thank you for joining us.